Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I want to talk to you about some really important online dating tips and tools as an anxious, preoccupied attachment style. So first and foremost, I know this is like a huge conversation topic and thing that people have so many questions about, and I wanted to give you some resources on this channel, not to, sometimes we'll see other channels or just different pieces of advice out there in the world be like how to play hard to get and manipulate somebody into liking you and, all these different things. And I really want to stress the importance of like showing up as ourselves. And anxious, preoccupied individuals are such beautiful, amazing people with like so much charisma and so many things to offer. And, you should never feel like you have to show up as something other than yourself or, change who you are in some kind of way. So what I really want to provide you with on this channel here are some tools that are just healthy tools to use and really important things to just be aware of as a person, to take yourself into consideration, and that will help actually move the needle in terms of your online dating experience, relationship, and things that you can like really use as a North Star or sort of a guiding mechanism to help you make healthy decisions, really have the outcomes that you're looking for, attract the partners that or people into your life that you desire and that you want to spend your time around, and not lose all this time wasted on situations that may not work out or people that may leave you hanging. So we're going to go through three major tips, but a few part A, B, and C's of these tips. And if you want to do a deep dive into this stuff as part of one of the features we have at the Personal Development School, on the inside, we literally have online dating routines as part of our community feature. And so you can check that out if you want to sign up and check out for free for 7 days. All the resources we have at PDS, we literally have hosted online dating routines. So like literal tips, tools, conversation with the community about this stuff. I do 4 live webinars per week with our students. We've got other morning and evening routines and different programs for our community. And then of course we have 45 plus different courses, 2 of which that are really valuable are number 1, the advanced attachment style course about anxious attachment, and it will literally show you how you show up in all the different stages of relationships, including the dating stage of relationships, and how you may show up in terms of like the pain points, the patterns, how to reprogram these things. And then another one is just your reprogramming your anxious attachment style course. It'll just get you results way faster than anything on the YouTube channel here, because there's workbooks and exercises, and I can go way more into detail than I can in a YouTube video. So highly recommend checking those things out. But let's talk about this topic for today. So number one of the most important things we can do when it comes to online dating is set conscious expectations. This is a really powerful thing for anxious preoccupieds, and I want you guys to notice yourselves in this experience. So on one side of the experience, when someone doesn't text you back right away, you'll feel those really painful abandonment wounds triggered, right? So you'll get like that panic feeling, that like really strong discomfort in your chest and stomach and even like shoulders, like that nervousness bubbling and sort of that panic response. And it's a trauma response. This is because of painful past experiences that your subconscious mind didn't get an opportunity to really reprogram, work through, process. So you notice that this takes place. And something that can just be so healthy and so valuable is it's because the perceived time between when you're talking to someone and you texted them and then there's a break from them to text you, it's because you just experienced that in that period of time. You just experienced that gap in communication, which your subconscious mind is going to give meaning to it. It's going to say, I'm going to be abandoned. I'm going to be rejected. I'm not good enough. The person's pulling away. It's going to make those assumptions based on past traumas. But one really simple tool is just to look at, if someone's really interested in me and someone's willing to make the effort in the dating stage when I've just met them online, we haven't even necessarily met in person yet, or maybe really early into the relationship, how often would be healthy or appropriate for them to text me for me to feel safe and know that they still like me and still are interested in me? And I've asked this question to many clients over the years, and it's very helpful for them, because often what I'll hear is somebody will say, well, if we chat, back and forth over text, like 3 or 4 times a day, and there's like 3 or 4 messages from that person per day, I would say that's probably pretty healthy at this stage of the relationship. And what that does is it positions your conscious mind to hold on to this realization. So when your subconscious mind gets triggered, your conscious mind can kind of reparent your subconscious mind. And instead of just paying attention to that gap, like, oh, it's been 1 hour since the person texted me back, or 2 hours since the person texted me back, we have that gentle reminder from our conscious mind to say, oh, it's been an hour or so, but we've had a couple other exchanges today. And, things are going pretty well. This is a healthy experience for me. This is a good amount of time to be talking to somebody on a regular basis. Now, I will say, just to give you an extra tip in there, the average time that we'll often see in terms of exchanges back and forth when somebody's early onto the dating stage, especially if the other partner or the other person is more avoidant, I would say like 5 days a week of chatting in the dating stage is really healthy. I know that's not what the AP needs, and I want to consider that. But even if you have someone talking to you almost every day in the dating stage, and then that turns into every day, you have 1 or 2 exchanges per day, like that's very healthy. So just reminding yourself of that, because it takes you out of that mindset of like just looking at the little piece of the puzzle, being that like hour that you're waiting and starting to feel that panic. And then it takes you to a place where you can say, you know what, we're chatting quite frequently. Things are going pretty well. So by setting those conscious expectations ahead of time in terms of frequency of texting, and even like texting intensity, how much you share, how vulnerable, how emotional you are, you have this like North Star metric that you can come back to whenever you start to sort of downward spiral into that fear, and just remind yourself, no, this is actually healthier. This is good. Now, of course, there may be situations where somebody's just not texting you much at all. And in that case, they're not meeting your needs. And this brings me to number 2, which is for you to vet the person you are dating in the online dating space. It is so easy for anxious, preoccupied individuals, the moment they feel an attraction to somebody, to get so invested in like trying to people please and win that person's approval, because it's so much of your conditioning and programming. But that's really hard. That's a really tough and painful and challenging way to have to feel like it's just about the other person. What about you? What about your needs? What about your feelings? And so the situation that has to exist is not for you to think about what about me as an afterthought, because then it's almost futile. It's like if you're meeting someone else's needs and you're trying to show up for them, and then you're assuming that they should meet your needs too, without actually doing something to communicate your needs, to express your needs, to stand behind and advocate for your needs, that afterthought, like, oh, see, they should be meeting my needs too, it's not actually helping move the needle towards a solution. So what we want to do is we want to get clear ahead of time as an anxious, preoccupied person. What are my needs from a relationship, from dating, from like as I get to know someone? What are the important things to me here? And how can I communicate about these things early? So as I'm vetting this person, I'm not just trying to people please them and see if they're a fit see if I can fit into their needs and their expectations. But no, I'm going to take my own needs and expectations into consideration, and I'm going to communicate them in a healthy form. I'm going to talk about the needs that I desire, the things that are important to me, my preferences with dating, with life, with intimacy, with all sorts of different things. I'm going to talk about the traits that I appreciate. And I'm going to see if this person on the recipient end of my communication shows up or not. It's not just going to be all about me trying to meet their needs. I'm going to advocate for mine and take mine into consideration early, and then vet that person accordingly. And that puts you in a position where you come across as much more confident. It's a booster to your own self-esteem because there's someone in here considering yourself. And it's healthy and important for you to have standards going into dating and relationships. And it sets that off on the right foot. It makes you also appear as strong and confident that you're willing to show up for yourself. And it's an act of actually doing that will build you up in the relationship to yourself first and translate externally second. So really great habit to get into. And number 3, set your boundaries ahead of time. Set the boundaries ahead of time for what you want from the online dating world. Some people have different boundaries around length of time that they'll be okay to text before meeting up. I've seen people text with people for 4 months before getting that person to meet up with them. And then the person keeps canceling or changing plans. Like, I would say have boundaries with how often you'll put up with a cancellation as an AP. Like, if someone cancels once, life happens. If someone cancels twice, you better really like the person to think like, and I'm saying twice before you see them, or twice in the first couple of times that you've seen them. You have to really like the person to keep investing in that situation. They better be like really, really worth your time. And if somebody cancels a third time in the first month or 2 months of dating, I would say, listen, like that person's probably not going to be that invested in a relationship long term. That might be a boundary you have. I'm not willing to continue to invest in someone that's not going to match their investment or put an effort in as well, because what we see is what we're going to get. So the things we'll see in terms of those patterns are going to be the type of relationship we're most likely to have long term, of course, unless the other person is willing to show up and do the work and all that kind of stuff with you. So cancellation boundaries, length of time. You actually see somebody before, or you text with somebody before you see them. I see a lot of APs feel really good about like a 3-week or 1-month rule. Like we'll chat back and forth for a little bit, but we should have a date within that period of time, so I can really see, am I investing my energy into somebody I'm not going to see in person, or maybe not even like when I meet them in person. And it helps you make decisions more effectively, obviously, when you can meet face to face. And just think of any other boundaries you may need in general, like how often you'll put up with somebody going missing or not getting back to you, or just so many different pitfalls we can run into in this space of online dating. Write out all the things that trigger you, all the pain points in the online dating space that affect you, that make you feel negatively. And then write out, okay, what will my boundary be to support myself in this? And it's a really effective tool to move the needle. So hopefully this makes a lot of sense. If you want to do a way deeper dive, please come check out PDS, come check out our amazing community, sign up for our online dating routine, where we go through all sorts of different tips and tools with our community in a lot of detail. And then you can also check out the Advanced Anxious Preoccupied Attachment Style course. Again, all this stuff you can try for free for 7 days by clicking the link in the description box below. And I hope that makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. Please like this channel, please share, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video.